Now.
You look amazing, by the way.
Thank you, Peanut. You're very handsome yourself.
The first compliment I've ever got on here before. Thank you so much.
You're
I
very
deeply appreciate
welcome.
it. So, Autumn, I want to find out a lot about you. So let's just start off with like your early beginnings. So where did you grow up?
Well, where did I grow up? I grew up on Rolling Circle, I guess.
Rolling Circle. Okay.
Yeah. Harvard Boulevard and Philadelphia Drive.
Okay. Around what time is this? Like, what year do you remember being in that area?
Um, as early as maybe 1984 or 3, so to speak.
Okay. So, during the time, I mean, you living with mom, dad. What's the situation like? What's the living arrangement?
I am living with my mom and my stepfather and my brothers.
Okay. So at this time, it's like you already know about your father. Is this kind of like where you already, what? So you already knew about your father at this point.
Correct.
Do you ever remember living with mom and dad?
I don't.
Do you
At
ever
all.
remember a time when they were together?
No, not at all. Just through picture, but like by memory, no.
No. So your earliest memory is just mom being with Todd,
Yes. Yeah.
and that's Rolling Circle.
And that's where I think it was 3801 or 30. Yeah, 3801, I believe. That was the
3801
address.
Rolling Circle.
What kind of things were you into at that time of your life?
I like to journal. Write. I always like to write and read pretty much. Or research pretty much. But we couldn't do research at that time, so I guess I shouldn't say research, but pretty much journaling. I like to journal.
So at this point in time, was you were in elementary school?
I was in wait a minute. Are we speaking of Rolling Circle days?
Yeah.
I remember going to Fairport. Fairport. And I believe that was kindergarten, maybe kindergarten, first grade. Yeah. So
Yeah. So at Fairport, like what kind of things were were you into during that time? Like, were you, class clown? Were you quiet?
definitely wasn't. I've always been quiet. So yeah, quiet, pretty much quiet. I was into like Barbie dolls. Barbie dolls. Barbie dolls.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go.
Yeah. So I say that. So
Yeah. So at this point in time, how many siblings do you have?
I had 2 brothers and a stepsister.
Okay. They both were older than you?
Actually, one older, one younger, and then my step sibling was older than me as well.
What were their names, just for reference sake?
Okay, my oldest brother is Lionel, and then my youngest brother, Jason or Todd. And then my stepsister, her name is Camille.
Okay. Okay. So who were some of your early childhood friends?
My cousin Marty Robinson, pretty much was my only friend. Was my only friend. Yeah, she was my Marty. Who?
Nina, Doja.
Oh yeah. Well, I forgot about the Oh wow. Yeah. Nina, Sharita. It was a lot of Nina, Sharita, Cherry,
What about Shay that lived across the street? Were y'all friends?
Shay. Yeah, she was a tutor. Mom got her to tutor me one time for a test, actually. So yeah. But no, I don't think we were really friends. But I want to say really friend wise, my best friend I would say at that time was Marty Robinson. She was my cousin. I think she's maybe my second cousin or something like that.
So at that point in time, like, what is one of your fondest childhood memories?
Being with my grandmother,
Okay.
going to my dad's mom's house, my dad's mom. She pretty much did what little girls like to do, like she took me shopping she didn't drive, first of all. She walked, but she lived in Rolling Circle, in the Rolling Circle Plaza. So we would walk to what is the name of that? What was that shopping plaza? Oh my gosh.
Gettysburg Plaza.
Yes, we walked there and we used to just walk and shop and stuff like that. So I had a good time doing that.
And is there any other story from like your childhood that like you look at and was like that was a great time, like a specific story, not a run of the mill of every time we kicked it with grandma we did this. What story stands out the most?
Um, Probably her cooking. I used to go and have my grandma made the best toast and coffee. So my one of the best every time I went there, actually, I just had a great time with my grandmother and my great grandmother, actually. So toast and coffee with my grandmothers was like iconic. And that was iconic for me.
Okay, so like the family structure, right? So what are some of your early memories of your mother?
Um, Silly, outgoing, um, always dressed really nice. Um, those.
What about your real father?
My dad, my dad is well, our father. I'm sorry, I would say my dad. I have a problem with the word my. I have no idea why, but my dad is. He's very kind, a very kind, gentle man. Very passive. Um, I
In
guess.
what ways do you think he's passive? Like, have you seen him in situations where he was passive when you would not have been?
When I mean passive, I just mean like he's just not. He's not the type that's just. He's not a Peter Popoff. He's not gonna just. He's always just. I've never really seen him angry where he's just. So I say passive, like a gentle soul type of a guy. So yeah, that type of thing.
Okay. And what about your stepfather?
Phew. Well, what would you like to know? What about him?
What's one of your early childhood memories of him? Like, if you could think of like your very first memory of when you first seen him. Like when I was younger, my first memory of my stepdad really wasn't my stepdad. It was the fact I saw paint buckets inside of my living room. And it's like, what the heck is this? And my
Right.
stepdad was a contractor. So what's some of your early childhood memories of that?
He was intimidating. I would just because he was a big guy. So my first, I believe, yeah, would be like an intimidating type of a guy. And not nice, like not friendly, kid friendly, like not kid friendly, like I guess that makes sense. Not like a nice type of a guy that is just friendly with kids, like so.
All right. Was there ever a moment where he was nice to you or anything of that nature? Or was it always been a tumultuous situation?
I would like to say I think that at some point in times, yeah, that he was. I do remember him at some points giving me compliments. Yeah, giving me compliments like maybe I think about my looks, or if it's kind of embarrassing, but like I would get so fearful being around him that I would smell like urine. I wouldn't want to really be around him and I would have a smell. I would pee on myself. I was scared as a kid. So when he didn't smell that on me, he would tell me, "Well, you smell great. You smell decent today, or you smell okay today." Seriously. Right.
Where was that fear rooted from?
Whoopings, beatings, being mistreated, name calling. That.
So, like during this time, I mean, what was your mother's response during this time that things are happening to you?
Um, Nothing. Lots of times, nothing. I recall lots of times being like taken in the restroom and just like my body being looked over because depending on what type of punishment he decided to give me that day. If it was a whooping, then I would have marks and visible marks. And she would just look over my body to see, and I really wouldn't get a answer or any type of, it would just a quick look over and send me loose, and that was just the situation. So I just had to learn how to deal with it myself and hide marks and scars and smells and all that as a 12-year-old kid. Well,
So even going back before that, I want to get some detail on some of the times you actually got a beating.
no, she was.
Can you recall just a time where you got a beating, and just tell us a story of what happened?
Um, she's.
What was setting you off?
Okay. So like house cleaning, definitely OCD. To this day, I'm literally OCD. Like there could be nothing out of place, out of line. Like it would have to be clean. So if we would, anything, if so, say for instance, we're at school and he has I guess maybe some free time to go upstairs and look and see if our room or something was clean or whatever. I would come home, and if it was anything wrong, like literally get whoopings. I would have to stand in a corner with a shotgun,
Excuse me.
loaded shotgun. I'm serious. That was a form of punishment.
Pointed at you or
Pointed up my nose. Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
So during this time, did you have any release? Like for instance, so like a lot of times when you have people who go through, situations where they're being abused, they have an outlet where either they abuse or they flourish in other areas. What were some of your outlets during this time?
I didn't have any. I didn't have a single outlet. I had not a single outlet. Not in my house, not outside of my house. I take that back. My outlet was my dogs. If I would, well, yeah, was my dogs. I would say my dogs. That was a lot of therapy for me. Walking them and stuff. Even though I think it would be used as a form of punishment, I still got a chance to go outside and, just kind of get outside of the house and not have to be inside of.
So during this time, did you have any conversation with your real father about what's going on at your stepfather's and your mom's house?
I asked myself this so many times and I get so mad, but no, I didn't. I was more so
Brainwashed?
scared of what would happen after the fact if if I told my dad or told anybody, like, anybody at school, because like I would be so embarrassed, just literally going through some of the stuff that I went through. But I never told my dad, and I never told anybody. No, I never told anybody. So
All right, I want you to walk me through a couple of stories. All right, so you move into the new house on Philadelphia. How did you feel moving into the new house? Did you like it? What was your feelings about moving there?
well, moving into the house, I didn't feel bad about it. I think that I was pretty happy going into it. I mean, I didn't look at it anyway. So when we did get in there, I guess it was okay. I mean,
Do you remember being scared of that new house?
oh heck yeah, that's what you mean. Oh yeah, the house was very intimidating. Well, very big.
What was different from the last house compared to the new house?
Well, the size capacity got huge, and we went from kind of being compacted to it being like a big space. So we slept together. You know, me and my siblings slept. Me and my younger brother definitely slept together, and my oldest brother slept on top. So we kind of were stuffed, and we move over to this new house, and it's big, and we get into our room, and it's it looks like what's a coffin or some type of, it looked like a coffin that was in the attic of the house that was in our room. So well, that was in one of the rooms that was upstairs. So yeah, it was.
So it was located in a closet. It was located physically in the room.
It was, yeah, it was in a part of the room. It was adjacent, yes, to one of the rooms that was in the room. So when you walk into our room, you could open it. I believe you could open the door and you would be like in a attic. The attic was like, you could see like the front of Philadelphia Drive. So yeah, it was literally inside of a room inside of another room that was
Like crawl space kind of thing.
it reminds you of like a functioning attic kind of. The attic was really, it was big as heck. We stored a lot of stuff in there. So yeah, like it was just wow. Just something that I can't really explain it if you was not there, but it was just a room of a room off of a room that you could see the front of our house, and in there it looked to be like a coffin type of a deal. Now we didn't know what it was, but
And at this point, you 8 years old. You're a little girl. You moving into a brand new house, and we all afraid of this new house because it was a coffin in the attic.
yeah.
And I go and tell that you and Lionel are afraid of the house, and then what happened?
We get that night that that we got like the worst beating ever, like with a stick called the green whooper, and pretty much I guess he wanted to beat the scaredness out of us. So it was just like a big whooping party. Like I just remember like a circle. Like, I just remember him standing in the middle with the stick, and it was just like he just went crazy in a circle, like hitting and yeah, just a lot. A lot.
What was your relationship like with your other siblings during all this?
Well, my relationship with my brothers was, it was good, I would say, on the surface, but inner, I just never felt the love as a child from my siblings.
What were some of the reasons why?
Well, we had some rules in the house that were established, and one of the rules that my stepfather established was that I was able to be called a yellow bitch. Excuse my language. But that's how I was addressed.
By stepfather, siblings. What about your mother?
She never addressed me like that. No, she never addressed me like that at all. But it was just, but I guess it was okay because she heard it. So
She never posed any restriction to that term being used for you at all?
not once.
How did you feel going through that, in hindsight, now being who you are, later on in life, and how you have children, grandchildren? How do you feel in hindsight?
Wait, okay. Ask me that one more time, please.
How do you feel now from the perspective that you have now, looking back over that situation, you being a mother, a grandmother? How do you feel in that, looking at it from that perspective?
Well, I physically have pushed out 3 children. I'm sorry, three girls and three boys. I have six children, and I said three because I have three daughters, and there's just not a way that right now, or even when my children were younger, that I could just even let that happen. I mean, even if it was an adult that called my daughter that, at this point, I'm going up. But as a child, you think that your mom is going to protect you, and I never got that, and it hurts. It hurts. So, excuse me. So, but just looking back, I wish, no, I'm not even saying that I wish, I know that I would never ever let my daughters or any of my children, grandchildren, ever be treated like that by a sibling or even, or by a step parent.
So, like, tell us one of the greatest memories of your mom that you can remember, like one of the good times with your mom.
When we went to like her softball games and stuff like
What?
that.
So she played softball?
My mom was definitely a softball. Yeah, she was good. She was an athletic type of a chick. She
Wow.
definitely was. Yeah, she
Wow,
definitely
that's
was.
amazing.
Mhm.
So, hey, walk us through that day.
Well, we used to go to softball games after work, after we get off work, or we would be at Old River. So already at the park. Old River, in case you don't know, was like what do you want to call it? It was like a place where
Little swimming,
yeah, you could
recreational
swim.
park. You can go
Right.
canoeing, just all of that type of stuff. Just swimming.
So she would we would go there, or we would go to her. I think her softball games
Yeah,
there.
that was there.
I
Kinda
think
like at
so.
the
So
little
yeah, we
NCR
would.
baseball fields.
Yeah, I'm like, dang, I couldn't remember where they were. I just remember going. So yeah, and then after that, she would take us like to the team maybe would go to like a pub or something like that. And I remember eating at little restaurants. My mom's friends were really nice too. They would make us cookies and stuff like that. So she had a really, yeah. I mean, I have I do have some fond memories, So just not a lot of like, you would want that one-on-one time with your mom. I just didn't get that.
All right. So, like, walk us through some of the things that like you and your dad would do when you went to visit with them.
Well, let me see. We would go to, of course, my grandma's, the Kingdom Hall. My dad is a Jehovah's Witness. He's always been born and raised. So we would go to the Kingdom Hall. My stepmom, she would always like make tacos and stuff like that. So I just have memories like, I mean, we didn't really do anything that was like, like going out of, well, no, I take that back. We did go to assemblies. My dad used to take us to assemblies, and oh my gosh, they were so fun, like literally. So we did get a chance to travel a little bit, even though it wasn't like, you didn't really want to go for religious purposes when you were small, but you did get a chance to travel and make friends and stuff like that at the assembly. So I had a lot of fond memories with my dad growing up. So actually, I really did. My dad's a...
I want to go to another place because I want you to get some details that you might not be remembering, but I do remember these. And this is a big part of establishing a character for Todd. So let's talk about playing 20 questions.
Oh.
Walk me through.
Well, 20 questions was a game of my stepfather was actually a very smart man, like geographically and historically, like knowing stuff. He was really smart. So we would have to sit in front of him. This is so crazy. He would be naked on the toilet, butt naked, right? And me and my siblings would have to sit right in front of him. Okay. And if I got a question, like, okay, so my brothers pretty much, I don't know. I'm not saying I wasn't the brightest star, but I don't think at that time I may have not been the brightest star. But yeah, so if I didn't get a question or something right, you know, he may ask a question such as where is Africa located, or what's the continents, or what's the, you know, what's the city in the state. Oh my gosh, I kid you not. One day I remember I did not know the city that I lived in. I did not know this. He asked me, and I'm not saying that I didn't know, but when he asked me, I did not know at that moment. So, oh my God, he would wipe his butt, put it literally with wet tissue, ball it up, and make me throw it away. As my mom would be right across the hallway, hearing everything.
How much?
Outside of that, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So, what happens when you get I mean, other than that, what about when you get an answer wrong? Like, I remember asking you to name 5 type of trees. I remember asking you to, like you said, name the capitals of certain states. Or
So, I mean, you mean like what type of a punishment? You
Yeah,
mean like
yeah, what's the
whoopings or
punishment? What's
cussing?
happening to you?
I mean, like it's been like I've had to literally stand in the corner for hours with the shotgun up my nose, as a form of punishment, until my mom. I mean, like the punishment that it's like really bad, but I had my very first suicidal ideation at like 9 or 10 because I would have to stand in a corner with a shotgun stuck up my nose until my mom got home from work. Like, and it's like nobody in I just felt as if like nobody in the house. I didn't have anybody to like turn to. We were kind of pinned against each other. I believed he pinned my brothers against me. They would have to watch me stand in a corner. I could not leave. I couldn't get out of the corner. And you would think that, you know, your siblings would at least say, "Hey, come get out the corner." But I think
used
that
to
we
feel
was
like I was in the
always
corner, too.
scared. Yeah, I think that we was all scared as hell. Like,
I
you
think,
know,
you used to get in trouble the
wow.
most, but like I admit that you would be in trouble
For
more for
yeah.
lease and
Oh,
more, but I just seem like we used to be in the corner together at the same time, and it would be brother had to watch us for some reason. I don't know.
yeah,
but we
I
used to be in
don't.
the corner.
It was a lot of times there. Yeah, my oldest brother, he did. My mom gave him reign to like spank me. Like I remember.
What happened when you was in school? So you had got a bad grade one time.
Well, I got a bad grade in school. Now, I told you I may have not been the brightest star. I think now that I'm looking back, I had like dyslexia so seriously because I mean, the way that I think now. But I got a C. Well, I think I got a C I got something. I don't know. But I changed my grade. I changed it because I knew it wasn't a bad grade, but I think I made it into like it might have been a D. Junior, I can't really remember what the grade was, but I do remember I
So you
changed
turned
it.
into a B kind of thing.
Right.
I think it was a
Or a
D,
D, and
we
I've
turned
turned.
it to a A. Like it was a D, and then we just like
And that's it.
drew like the little cup around it and put
And I did
the
because
line
it
down.
didn't look like anything that you know, looking back as you're grown. But I remember I got in trouble really bad for that, and I just don't remember the form of punishment that I got particularly.
It was an just over and over and over bringing it up.
Wow.
Degradation of it. Went to Pizza Hut that day.
Oh
When we
wow.
at Pizza Hut, is just name calling,
Oh
is
yeah.
threatening, is
Wow.
humiliating.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's just a
Bad.
continual reinforcement of just evil.
Evil. And I don't even know
Evil.
what I did as a kid. I don't even. I didn't do anything. There was nothing that I stayed out of the way. Like there was nothing that I did. Like so that's what confuses me completely because I didn't do shit. Like I wasn't a bad kid.
What was your self value at that point in time in your life?
Oh, zero. I had no self worth. I had no self esteem for years, like years, and it shaped and molded me to really feel like nobody has ever loved me, and that's something that I just had to like. Oh my, I don't know how I came out of that. Like it's God for sure. I had no self worth.
So, I've had the opportune chance to interview Ahava Elyon, and he spoke about, things being hyperly sexualized in the
Ooh.
household.
Oh,
What are some of your experiences with that?
wow. Oh my gosh, the hypersexuality was a mess. It was okay, so lots of porn, lots and lots of like porn magazines being delivered and sex toys. I'm like, what? So as like a kid, I'm like, what the hell? You see stuff that's being delivered, but
So you weren't spared from any of it.
oh no, not oh no, not there was no
No
not at all.
filter.
There was no filter. There was no filter.
So him sitting on a toilet, butt naked. So you seen him naked before? It wasn't an issue.
I saw him naked before, and I'm not saying it wasn't. It was definitely an issue to me, but I guess not to adults.
Well, every time he went to the bathroom to
Right.
number 2, we was in the bathroom. And it was his time to sit there and ask us questions. Like it wasn't just a one-time occurrence. Every time we come in the bathroom and he would talk to us.
While he's taking a number 2.
While he's shitting,
Yeah.
we go to the bathroom and he's playing 20 questions or he's playing his little games.
So at
whatever it
least
might
twice
be.
a day.
Whenever he had to
Whenever.
go, pretty
I don't know
much.
if it was twice. I'm just saying this went on frequently.
I mean,
and he would wipe his ass and fold the tissue up and put it in a bag and then have us go throw it away.
I never got a bag. I got straight toilet tissue. I never received it. I wish I did.
Was there a reason why he didn't flush?
I have not. I don't know. Now that it's really odd. I don't.
Even while they in the bathtub, like it's like our whole house was just completely open
Yeah.
like that. And just thinking about it was so normal
It was.
to us that like just talking about it now, it's like, damn, we did used to do that. But that is something that we never do with our kids.
I
or
would.
nothing.
Yeah. It
That
was
shit
always
would never
odd to
happen.
me. Like, why are we? What are we doing here?
So I want to ask you, like, the contrast of when you go to your natural father's house, you know what I'm saying, like your real father's house, in contrast to there wasn't ever a inkling of, wait, this is off.
Meaning, like, from my father.
Yeah.
See, that's what I don't. I've asked him. No, I don't think so. I don't think that he knew. I believe that my grandmother knew. I believe that his mom knew something because she definitely would clean me up, as I would come to her house and stuff like that. So, yeah, my grandmother, yeah, I think just being a woman, she had that sense, but she just never said anything to me. But she always cleaned me up. She always cleaned me up. She kept me, but she always just made sure I was okay. And yeah, so, but going from Philadelphia Drive to my dad's house was like going to Disney World. Like I really was happy. Like I want to go. It was a nice feeling to have to go. So to get to go.
So we talked before about some of the strange things that's happened at 2005 Philadelphia Drive.
Right.
What are some of the things that you've noticed, maybe paranormal things that are out of the ordinary besides the casket? What are other things that you noticed while you were living there?
I don't think that it was any like. Oh, let me see. I don't. The basement was kind of like spooky, but I didn't really see. Let me think. I'm trying to think. I don't think that it was too many other paranormal.
I think it was paranormal stuff going on while we were living there, but it's just the fact that people have died while living there, and
Right.
it's the vibe and the cloud, and then the house like being bulldozed down now,
And caught on
and then the house
fire.
caught on fire now. I mean, it had caught on fire, and one time,
Excuse me.
later on down the line, Autumn went to the house, and a fire inspector popped up out of nowhere. So it's just she can tell the story, but
Yeah.
it's not that we experience so much paranormal stuff there, other than a dream that I told you about one time, where I woke up and seen like a little girl in the hallway. And I don't know if you ever remember, but Todd used to always bring that up and try to tell, like, brag that I seen a little girl in the hallway when
No,
he's
yeah,
talking
you
to his
told me
friends.
that, but I never witnessed. That's weird. So yeah, maybe, yeah, you probably did. Oh gosh, no, I never saw anything.
So around age 12, we start to get into, where things change rapidly. Yeah. Walk us through that time of your life. Around age 12, what type of things are going on? What's the climate of the household? Is mom and dad getting along? Are they arguing? What's going on at that point in time in your life?
Age 12 was a lot. I had just pretty much became, started puberty, how women do, well, young women. So of course, your hormones and stuff change or whatnot. And I was just kind of done with being abused. I had reached my peak, and I it just started to show. I started speaking out more like intensely that I wanted to live with my father and things of that nature, and just kind of got like shot down, until just kind of got shot down with not shot down, but I shouldn't have said that word. I didn't mean it like that, but my feelings and my
Request.
were just dismissed. You know what
By
I
your
mean?
mom and you? Okay. So
By my mom, yes.
You never went and told Todd that you wanted to live with.
I never. The last day that he called me, that we it was an argument, and my mom was sitting there.
What was the argument about?
I can't really remember. I don't. It was something about. It was something about a punishment. I don't know, and I was not taking it. So he called me a bitch for like literally the last time. So my mom we were kind of sitting at the table, and I got up. I stormed out the house, and I told her like I want to live with my dad. Like literally, I was pissed and was ready to walk at that point in time, but I didn't, because I still was in so much of a fear. So the age of 12 was just, that's when I realized like I was done with just being treated the way that I was treated.
Like during this time, like you're having certain issues with your siblings because they've been put against you based off of, the
Right.
culture of the household.
Correct.
Did you have any recourse for them as well? Was it a quit calling me that as well, or was it kind of like I understand because they're making you do this kind of thing?
No, I honestly was just done with the whole house. That's just and I don't mean it, but at that time, that's just how I felt in my life. I was just like I was done. Like I can't. How much more can you really take?
Right.
So yeah, I was just done.
Yeah. So what about the relationship with your natural father? Are you saying, hey, dad, or is it being cut off now because your mom knows that you want to live with them, and now when it's normal time for them to get you, it's like, nah, they staying home this weekend? Was it that kind of thing?
No, actually, we had a routine. At first, we all went to my dad's house. We all would go and visit my dad, or I'm sorry, not we all would. Myself and my oldest brother, Lionel, would go to visit my dad, and Junior would, well, I'm sorry. Gosh, my baby brother would stay home. So as he would have to stay home, he would be by himself. So my mom started splitting our weekends up. My oldest brother and me, she would split the weekends up so that Junior, my baby brother, would not have to stay home by himself. Right. So I would go and Lionel would stay home with my brother, and then we would alternate. You know what I'm saying? So that's how.
So are you conscious of what's going on when it comes to custody issues with him, or the whole paternity issue when it comes to him during this time, or is it kind of like swept under the table or kept above you kind of thing?
The whole paternity issue. You mean with my baby brother?
Yeah, with Ty, baby brother, and your father.
I believe that, yeah, it was swept under the rug. I mean, I don't recall when he was young enough to be called Jason, but at the same time, I do. I mean, it just kind of went so. It just blended in. I don't really. I just really cannot.
Because it was, we had nicknames that we would call, like it was Toby, Lucy, and Petey.
Walk us through that as well. Yeah, like what was the name's significance, and like during that time, like what was the reason he called you these names?
I have not a clue. I think he just made up nicknames and gave us nicknames. I don't know.
So when I interviewed Ahava Elyon, he said that those were slave names that he gave you guys. Mm-hmm. And he spoke of different acts that you guys had to do, such as walk the dogs. But like to you, like you said, like that was a outlet for you. Is hey, I get to go walk the dog. I get to get outside the house.
Yeah.
So what other activities did he have you do, and he used these names during this time that he would make you do these different various acts?
Pick up crumbs off the floor.
Crumbs.
We had you know what? The crazy part, we had like a brand new Kirby, that ran the sweeper, but you could clean the carpet. It was like an all-in-one, literally. But guess what? Like we literally would have to get on the floor and pick up crumbs off the floor. Literally pick up crumbs, wipe down the wall. I'll just say the wall. Yeah, wiping. Yeah, a lot of cleaning. So yeah.
Do you recall the day that your mother passed?
I do very well. Yeah, like yesterday.
Let's start from how the day started, and then contrast it to how the day ended.
Well, okay, so that morning, I remember like an argument. I won't even say morning. I will say like mid-afternoon. Remember an argument and being told to go to my room. So that was the early part of
so prior to this time, is this like a notion of when you get told you go to a room, your mom's getting abused during this time? What is your recollection of times where mom was reprimanded or beaten as well?
Peanut, the crazy part about it, I never witnessed one act of my mom being abused. Not one name calling, not one, nothing, not anything. I never saw it. So when I guess I was a little confused, like, wow, I mean, I just thought at this point in time, I was the only one getting abused because I never saw it. And then I just felt like I was just in a different house from everybody else. Either I was away, self-isolating, or being tormented with, in his face. Like he would torment me. Dang. But yeah, so that was the only two, like when we would run into each other, that's exactly what it would be. Yeah. So.
So what happens next after you are told to go to your room? What do you hear? What is, what happens next?
Okay. I hear some dishes breaking and arguing. That my room was right above the kitchen. Well, yeah, my room, the kitchen was below my room. So I heard dishes breaking and arguing.
Did you hear your mother speaking up for herself? Is she?
I just heard, you know what? I didn't hear any words. I just heard, how you hear, ah, wow, wow. Like it was no type of like nothing that made sense to me. and I just heard I heard a few dishes breaking.
Have you ever heard your mom speak up for herself before around your stepdad?
She never had I never, no, I never witnessed any of that. I never saw him getting smart. It was always like them going to concerts or things of that nature. So I didn't know that.
Okay, so what happens next after the dishes breaking, your arguments going back and forth, you're still inside your room? What happens next?
So I fall asleep, and because I was up there for a while, and I fell asleep, and I want to say I woke up. When I woke up, I came out of my room, and everything appeared to be normal.
So no dishes there, everything been cleaned up. Mm-hmm. No more yelling, no more fighting.
Right.
Okay.
Nothing.
At this point in time, your other siblings are there as well?
No. My oldest brother Lionel, is at my dad's house for the weekend.
Is it time for him to be there?
Yeah, it's his weekend. So
And
I'm
you
at
watch your little
home,
brother.
and I'm at home with my baby brother. Exactly. And so I believe he must have been outside. I don't know where he was. I don't know where the heck he was, but he wasn't in the house. So wait, did I forget the question that you just asked me? Did you ask my question? Okay.
You answered it perfect.
Okay.
You answered it perfect. So, as the night progresses, do you see your brother again? What happens later on that day?
I do. As I wake up, like I said, I came out of my room, and I believe at some point in time we reunited. But I helped my mom get ready for work that night. It was a Sunday night, and she was getting ready for work. So she would always prepare her clothes, take her bath, and stuff like that. So
At the time she worked at NCR?
she did.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So she's getting ready for work. Mm-hmm. You got baby brother, you know what I'm saying? You take care of him. Where's stepdad?
Wow. I don't know. My mom, I had helped my mom get out the bath. I had put powder on her back or something or whatnot. And I don't know where he was. Like, I have no idea. I don't know. I don't recall him. He must have been in the house somewhere, but I just don't recall him. I just, for some reason that day, I had a lot of one-on-one time with my mom that night because I helped her get, dressed and stuff. So, helped her get ready for work the next day, I should say.
Okay. So mom works what shift?
She works first.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what happens next?
Okay. So let me think. We go to sleep, and I'm sorry. At some point in time, my stepfather surfaces, and it's time for us to go to bed. So I go upstairs. I sleep upstairs. My brothers, sometimes my stepfather works second shift. So sometimes we would sleep around my mom's bed. Right. So my baby brother was sleeping around my mom's, had planned on sleeping around my mom's bed. I was going upstairs because because I slept upstairs. Like I never slept downstairs. So I did sleep up.
He said he's asleep in their room frequently.
Yeah, all the time with our dogs. Like my mom was a big chicken. She did not want to be. She didn't like to be alone or whatnot. So, they would sleep around my mom's bed, and I would sometimes until the time that he would get home. And then I would go upstairs, or sometimes because I didn't like really being alone. The house was really big, but we had dogs too. So before he would get home, sometimes I would just go upstairs. Yeah.
Okay. So like during this day, is you and your brother in the room?
Are we in? Yes, we go upstairs to my room. Yeah, because I don't know. Was it primarily? It primarily was my room, but I think my baby brother kind of slid in with me or what? Yeah, he co-opted in with me. So yeah, we were in the room together sleeping.
Okay. What's the next thing that you noticed?
So we fell asleep briefly. I briefly or whatnot, and fell asleep. Woke up to a lot of noise. A lot of our dogs were barking. Woke up to a lot of dogs. Roof. So their kennel was in the back where my room sat. So I got up and I literally yelled out the window for them to shut up because it was that much noise going on. So I mean, it was howling, barking. It was crazy. It was insane. So, oh my gosh. After they didn't be quiet, my baby brother was, of course, two beds were in the room. I was in my bed, he was in his bed. So believe we both were up because we heard about the dogs. So the next thing we know, somebody's like literally opening our bedroom door, and it's a flashlight, and it's two faces. So I look, and when the door was cracked not a lot, and all you saw was a flashlight, and you heard a voice, and you heard somebody say, "Is everybody okay in here?" So
What was your response?
I said yes, and they shut the door back, just like that, like literally just like that. So, about 5 minutes went by, like literally, like so we're at this point in time. I can't really tell you what's going on, but I hear a lot of, because the door I opened the door to actually hear like what the hell's going on, and I'm like, if my first thought was like, if it's somebody in here, like my stepfather is good. I don't know
So you
what's
was more
going.
worried about the people there rather than
Like,
what's going on with them. Because you like your stepdad.
What is
yeah.
going on?
Yeah.
But the face that I saw was a Dayton police officer and my stepfather's sister, Wendy. So that was all I saw. Those were the two faces that opened the door.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So and the voice that asked was everybody okay in the room was the police officer.
Right.
So as we as you know, I said okay or whatnot, we ended up, the door is still open, I believe, cracked or something, and we just hear all this noise. Like I hear immediately like cameras, CBs, walkie talkies, like it just sounded like it was just a ham benching. If you know what a ham benching is,
I've been to the
the ham benching, the whole ham benching going on. So that was the noise. That was the what was going on. So I literally grabbed my brother. Okay, now this was the crazy part. Like, so I grab him, we go down the steps.
What do you see when you first go down the steps?
Oh my God. We get down the steps, and like our step case was the longest step case ever. It was like a L step case. Like it was steps, and then you turned the corner, and it was like, you go down. So exactly, I loved our step case. I mean, I'm sorry, our whatever the heck it's staircase. I can't even think. But we go down the steps. So immediately as I go down the steps, our hallway was really long hallway. So I look one way, I see like my stepfather. I looked on the porch. Our porch was so big. Like I wish I could just set the stage of how big our porch was. But I see a lot of people gathered outside, like a lot of police officers. I look the other way. Police are yelled. As soon as I turn, get out. You gotta go. You gotta go. Like it was
talking to you or
talking to me and my brother we had to get out of the house. They said, you can't be in here. Like it was like, no, they didn't even know that we were upstairs. Like it was just crazy. So I went to the door, like literally headed out the door. So as I head out the door, I mean, our dogs are still going crazy. It's like literally war. It's police everywhere. The whole street was lit up like 4th of July, pretty much, like police cruisers all up the street, so I'm looking like, what in the world? So, we don't have a clue what's going on. We go outside and we just sit on the porch.
So, what was the reaction of your Todd during this time, your stepfather?
He's on the porch crying.
Have you ever seen him cry before?
Never. Like never. Ever. Never at all. So he's crying, and
did this seem genuine, or you had no other way to gauge it?
I don't really, I couldn't even call it, actually. I just saw tears, and my very first instinct was I thought that his mom had passed. Like I thought his mom passed because he had like this really weird, estranged relationship with his mom. So I'm thinking, because I saw him, it was his whole family, like literally him, his father, his daughter, and the police. Like they were all there.
His sister.
And his sister. Oh my gosh. Let's not and the sister. So yeah, like I see all these people and my mom, she had like we had like a picnic table on our porch. So like I said, we just sat
big.
We had a big, yeah, actually. And we just kind of sat there and waited until.
At this point, are you worrying like, or even have the inkling or the thought of where is my mother?
Not at all until my brother said something. My brother literally said, "Where the hell is our mom?" I don't know what cuss word he used, but he said like, "Where the hell is our mom?" Like, because we didn't see her, but I never was thinking that. Like, that was the last thing that I thought was ever going to come. I was going to hear.
So, when did you find out that your mother was deceased?
Okay, so my baby brother, asked the question. Like, it was just people crying and nobody was talking to us. Like they just sat us on the damn picnic table. Well, we sat down and there was nobody. It was a lot of people but we got no type of answers or anything. We just was sitting there. And my brother finally asked, where our mom was. And my stepfather's father came over to us and said that there had been an accident. So when he said that there had been an accident, I remember standing up and I want to say he said, "Your mother's dead." Like, it was just like that. Like, it's been an accident and your mother's dead. I just remember.
No emotion attached to what he said.
No, none whatsoever. Like, we was just sitting on the porch. Like, I'm telling you, we went from upstairs to just being left alone to just being on the porch with the whole, like, we didn't know. And we had to like ask. And after my brother asked, and we were told, I just remember just immediately just taking off. Like, oh my God, like I just passed out, was crying. I just immediately ran to my dogs, and this man was like right behind me on my ass. I'm like, oh my God. I ran to my dogs immediately. My stepfather's father. He wanted to, I guess, maybe console me or whatever. But as I ran to the back, it was so creepy and eerie because my mom's window was back there. The window wasn't open, but it was just like, wow. So I just remember getting in the grass and I just, boom, I fainted. That was the very first time I knew what a faint was because I just blacked out. And when I woke up, Oliver, which is my stepfather's father, was standing over me asking me, was I okay? And I'm just like, get away from me. I need to call my father. So that's what I tried to do.
So during this time, what did you hear was the reason that your mother passed? And what did you surmise how your mother passed?
Well, I was told that there was an accident and that my mom committed suicide. Excuse me.
So before we talk the other part, did your mother exhibit any of these type of things that would lead you to believe that was true?
No, actually, one conversation that took place was between my mother and I before she passed was she was sitting on her, she loved to play the numbers. She loved the numbers, and she loved number books. So she would study her number books. So she was sitting on her heating register and she told me that she said, "I would never kill myself. I have kids to live for. I have 3 kids to live for." Now, this is when I was 12, like literally. So, why are you telling me this? Because I never saw any type of abuse that he displayed. So I'm looking like, why are you really telling me that? I didn't know, I really did not know. And that's sad.
So from one interview I did with Ahava Elyon, he spoke about how your stepfather Todd would threaten your mother constantly and say he would kill her and the kids. Did you see any of this or hear any of this?
I never did. I was only, honestly, I saw my brothers get whoopings, but I didn't, it just wasn't the same abuse to me. I just felt like I was abused. It was an abuse. So, No, I never, no.
So, like another portion is, like your mother was actually going through a lot after the Ardmore murders. Are you familiar with that
Yes,
situation?
I am. My
And
aunt.
so, like, give us that story so we can chronologize it. So we can chronicle it with your story. What do
Sure.
you know about the Ardmore's
Sure,
murders?
sure. My mom's oldest sibling. She used to watch me. Her name was Aunt Glenna, actually. My aunt passed away, and this evil man killed my aunt and her family. My aunt, my cousins, and my aunt's daughter. Like my little cousins. It's crazy. Like I have a record of all of them, but my mom was pretty depressed about that, like very depressed. And she used to cry a lot about it. And she would cut out the newspaper articles and stuff about it. So I know that she was dealing with a lot of depression behind that. And I went to court with her when the man was on trial and stuff. So she, and that was only like 10 months before my mom passed away. My mom passed November 1st. I'm sorry, my aunt passed November 1st and then of 85. And then my mom, August 11th of 86. So not even 10 months later.
So during this time that your mother was grieving, did you notice, Todd or your stepdad being a shoulder to lean on, shoulder to cry on? Was he supportive? What was it like when she had to go to court? Was there any type of level of support when it came to him and her grieving process?
I went to court with her actually. I remember going to court with her. As far as him being involved, if he was around, I wasn't around. So I can't say that he was or was not supportive because I always thought that he was supportive. So I couldn't say anything different. You know what I mean? So I know he didn't go to court with her. I did, but I just thought I was just wanting to be a supportive daughter at that time.
So that was kind of the premise that he used to say that why your mother possibly killed herself. But
Correct.
what did you gather from what happened, what transpired, and what could have happened that night?
Okay, wait. Ask me that again.
Let me ask you this though. When you heard that mom killed herself, did you think that it was true, or did you always just say, no, that didn't happen?
I honestly just did not know. When Oliver said she committed suicide,
You believed him?
I believed it. I just
believed it
did
too.
not have any other choice to not believe it, so I just thought that it was true. I mean, I didn't know. So that's strange, as strange as it sounds. And even though she told me that, I never saw any abuse to think that my mom was going to die. I never saw that. And that's what shocks me right now to this day because I never witnessed it. I never saw it.
Do
at
you
all.
remember a time that mom shot at Todd? Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
There was
Did she?
There was a situation
Whoa.
where
Okay.
she I don't know if she shot at him on purpose, but she had a gun and it shot and it almost hit him.
Whoa.
And
No.
Todd was telling us about it and was telling me about it, and mom was like just kind of like saying she didn't mean to do it. Like I think the gun just went off.
Wow.
Okay. And
No.
he was calculating a bunch of stuff. Do you ever remember Todd talking about how he would set something up? Like if he had to kill somebody, how he would do it, or he would
He
make
used to
them
make
say-
me write letters to his coworkers, threatening coworkers. So yeah, he was gonna kill some of his coworkers. He liked the way I write, that my penmanship was, and he used to tell me, like, he used to wake me up and make me write letters to his coworkers at NCR. So, I mean, I knew, and I mean that was another form of punishment. Who wants to do that? But I had to sit at that table and do it, and if I didn't, I mean, it was like, wow. I remember that he just was, a mess. It was a TV. Oh, do you remember the TV that was in the living room? And he used to like, you look at the TV if you want to. Like, I could not look at the TV. Like, I would get in trouble. Like, the boy, if my punishment was not to look at that TV and we were sitting at the table, it was a TV. Yeah, that ass was grass afterwards. So I couldn't look at the TV. I do feel like I was brainwashed. Like, I was literally controlled by
I was
a
definitely
lot of
brainwashed.
bullshit. Like, yeah, I couldn't look at TV. It was
One
a
time-
bunch of mess.
One time, we got in trouble because our room was messy.
Oh, yeah.
Or, well, I mean,
That was
a
minor.
regular thing.
That's like,
But-
that
but-
was like,
Well, I had epilepsy during this time,
oh my gosh.
and
I forgot about that.
and well, my sister
Wow.
has saved my life probably at least twice,
You
where
said
I
mine
had
too.
a seizure
Oh
while
my-
walking across the street, and she like
Oh my God.
dragged me out the way of getting hit
On
once.
Salem. Oh my God.
And then another time,
I forgot.
well, we were getting a beating together, and this was like one of Todd's days where he wanted to have fun while beating us.
Oh wow.
And he took us and told us just run around the room, and if we get hit, you remember this day?
Yeah. Yeah. Or
And-
when I threw the sandwich over the, remember that when I,
Yeah.
oh my God. That-
So
Okay.
you can tell this story.
Junior did get into, we kind of did get in trouble a little bit a lot.
Together a lot.
We
man. We got
did.
in trouble together a lot, man. And like I had to take a beating for for her one time.
You took the beat for over the thing, for over the sandwich, over the railing.
Yeah.
And I took a beating for one time. We had a packed lunch in the, my mom, we used to pack our lunch. And it was like my mom loved egg salad or whatever. So I think it was like an egg salad sandwich in our closet or something. And
I wasn't
boy,
thinking it was mine.
when I tell you we got it, woo, the whoopings was severe. Like,
Bro,
really?
She threw a sandwich over our balcony down to the ground, and the sandwich was there. And they asked us who did it. And she wouldn't admit that she did it. And I don't think that I said that she did it. I don't know
Oh my
how it
God.
happened, but since neither one of us, they couldn't find out who did it, we both got beat for it.
Man, and had to eat the sandwich.
Oh,
What?
we had-
It was a biscuit. Number one, it was a biscuit, and I threw it over. It was a piece of a burnt biscuit, and I threw it over top of like our.
Not a full thing, a piece of
It was a piece. No, it wasn't right, and it was like burnt. It was scorched. So I threw it, and he found out or whatever. And kid you not, like, and yeah, he made me eat it. I had to eat it. Eat that, sis. I did it.
Damn.
Yeah,
So,
no lie.
So how? So what's the first thing that changed in your life after your mother passed?
I was really traumatized actually after she passed. The first thing that changed was that's a good question.
Well, what happened with Todd after mom died?
Gotcha. Okay. So after my mom passed, and I went to immediately live with my father. Immediately, like expeditiously to my dad's. And so I just recall when I got to my dad's, of course, everything was just, kind of
Spacey and all that.
because of what had just happened or whatever. So, wow. So I get there, and it's my stepbrother there, and my stepmom, and my dad, of course. And I guess I just was trying to be as normal as I could possibly get.
Was
But
they loving on you? Was they putting anything into you? Were they?
no. I mean,
It's
like,
cold.
not in a sense of like, that I can really remember. Like me, I guess me, I'm such a compassionate person, then I probably would have really been loving on. But my dad, I think he went straight into grind mode as far as like trying to get stuff situated with our social security and getting getting some
Structure to get
stuff
they set up.
exactly. So, yeah, that's what he was doing. So I don't necessarily think that he just wasn't loving on me. I think he was some stuff was thrown at him and he was just trying to get it together. So I, as a young adult or whatever, I didn't have clothes. When I left, I literally left with what I had, and that was pretty much it. So I had to get some things, get some things from the house. I wanted some, some of my personal things or whatever, and some comfort things and things that my little journals that I would write in my little journals. What happened to my journals? Dang. But yeah, I just wanted some stuff. So I returned back to the house to get some things. And
So, in Ahabas Elyon's memoir, he spoke about how your stepfather threatened to make you clean up.
the murder, the scene. Yeah. That day, now that is the honest day that changed the whole frame of my life. That day I went to just wanted to get some things and was hoping that my brother would be, because like I said, I was at my dad's and he was there. So I just wanted to, I didn't want to, both of my brothers actually was there, but I don't know, for some
Lionel
reason.
stayed with me.
Yeah, my big brother, he stayed. So, naturally, that's why I'm saying, like, I was just like, I don't think anybody cares about me. I really was thinking that because I really didn't have anybody. I just was like, oh my God. But Junior was the baby. Well, my baby brother was the baby. So, but anyhow, oh my God, Peanut, I forgot the question at hand because I started talking.
So, at some point, he threatened to make you clean up the crimes.
Correct. Okay, so I went to grab my things and went to grab my things. I walk in the house and I'm hoping to see my baby brother or a brother, period. Just somebody that I just wanted to get some stuff, So man, Jesus. Okay, so yeah, I get to the steps. I don't really see anybody. I just see that the house being empty, right? And I don't see my brothers or anybody outside. I don't see him, my stepfather. So I proceed to go into the house, and to get my stuff. I made it to the step. I made it to our staircase, and when I got to the staircase, we had a room that was like a little ways down the hallway, and we called it the music room. My mom kept her albums and stuff in there. He kept his clothes and stuff in there. So he comes outside. I'm literally at the steps, and I just see like he just pops out of this room, and I just freeze because I didn't, naturally I'm like. So
Afraid of him.
yeah, it's the same. It's the same old, So
He ain't started being any kinder.
no
Like
kinder.
after
No.
mom just died, that's your mother, and he never showed you any love.
No, not at all. It was bipolar of that, actually, quite polar of that. I got to the steps because, like I said, I wanted to just get up them steps and get my stuff. But he interrupted me. He saw me going up the steps, and I looked at him. He looked at me, and the words that came out of his mouth was just like, "What?"
What
So
was the exact
What'd he
word?
say?
he told me. He said, "Get your shit. No more bitches live here."
How did you feel in that moment?
Stuck. Like if I was gonna die, I was gonna die right then. And I I was scared. So instead of me getting my stuff, now the crazy part about it is that I don't know if I told him I was getting stuff because or if he just said that to me, because I don't remember us having any dialogue at all, but except that, or that was his dialogue to me. But instead of me getting up them steps, he said, you know what, go get a rag. So instead of me, I what? Of course, in my mind, what? Walk in the kitchen. Now, he's behind me the whole time. I'm talking about walking right behind me. Now, I don't know what I'm getting a rag for. I don't know. I'm just, okay. So,
I want to ask you one question real quick. How many days had passed from the, you know, your mother being killed, murdered? How many days had passed from that point to you standing there going to the kitchen to get a rag?
that is a good question, because I've been in I want to say that it was after my mom's funeral for sure, because I think it was after her, because her services were so quick. She passed on the 11th, and then the 13th was her services. So I believe it was sometime after the fact that it happened. I'm not really I'm not really sure, but it was a little bit of, not that much time, but enough not that much time at all.
Right.
Period. Point blank.
Right.
So
So you're in the kitchen. He's right on your heels.
Yeah.
You're going to go get a rag.
Yeah.
What happens next?
He told me to. Oh, I'm trying to think. I don't really recall the words, and I don't like getting stuck right there. But I was.
What did he direct you to do?
He directed me to go into our hallway. And like he followed me to my mom's room. He stood behind me. Okay, so I guess he pretty much wanted me to see the crime scene. But he wanted me to wipe the walls. He wanted me to wipe my mother's blood off the wall. So I came from out of the kitchen, and maybe like, I want to say 5 steps away from the kitchen, when you turn the corner, was my mom's room. So I didn't really know, like, he didn't lead me to the room, but at the same time, okay, I come out of the kitchen, and I'm trying to, his presence directed me. It wasn't like he was like, get over there. But at the same time, he told me to get the rag, and I don't know, like, that's just what he wanted me to do, is what I'm.
So
It's hard to.
when you walked in the room,
Oh my God.
what did you see?
Like,
Was it the same way it was the moment your mother?
my God, it was blood splatter on heavily on the wall. Like, yeah.
The bed still?
The bed was no longer in the room. It was nothing in the room beside the wall. And that's why I was like, the rag, like, it was just weird to me, because like, he just told me to get the rag. So I'm thinking, like, this is what he wanted me to do. And as he stood behind me, like, the fear was just so immense. I'm like, you know what? You're going to have to kill me at this point, because I'm not doing it. Like, but I turned around and he was gone. And I flew the fuck out of that house. Flew so fast that I never flew that. I thought I could fly. So yeah, So yeah, and that was it for me. That was that. At that point, it was God, like, literally, because yeah, I ain't never.
Wow, I actually got to adjourn because I got to go get my kids from school, man.
Yeah, that shit's deep.
God. Let me hug them.
Yeah.
Part one. This
Yeah,
part one.
that's me.
Part one.
Jason, you already? Thank you, Beanut. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Man, that was so fucking sad, man. Like, just,
It is. It's sad as hell, but I mean, we about to get a book. We getting something out of this. I ain't no way I went through all this shit for nothing. I'm
Say
going.
that, man, that's heavy, man.
That is, and I just can only imagine when people really hear this shit. Like, what the? But it's my story, and